Today,
How we doing?
I feel good today. I'm not feeling good about this.
I don't. My dog woke me up at 3:30, 4, 5, 6, and 7, pouncing on me.
I think she missed you. But I've
been home for a week. I don't know what her freaking issue is, but she does this thing when she wants to go outside in the morning. She'll walk around on my bed. She'll walk around my body and then pounce on me. So it's like stepping on my hair, pulling my hair, everything. And then she paws at me. I don't get up. And then she jumps off the bed and then goes and stands in the doorway and stares at me.
I hate Hannah does that. I freaking hate it.
I'm like, would you freaking knock it off? Take her outside. I am like half asleep. I'm like, freaking cold. Just want to go back to bed. It is 2:00. And then she wakes me up again at 3:30 because she's hungry. So I feed her what's left in the bag because Chewy delivered her other bag today or yesterday. And I'm like, this is all you're getting. It is way too early to be opening a bag of new dog food. Well, nope, joke was on me. She pounced on me like 30 minutes later, like, bitch, give me more food. So I had to go open a new freaking bag. My poor neighbors, if they can hear me, I'm sorry because that was not quiet at 4:30 this morning.
Oh no.
And then she woke me up again because she was out of water. Because the cat spilled it all over the floor. It's never ending with those two. And then the cat decided, Mom, it's time to wake up. Let's open your blinds. I was like, Maple, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. Get out of the window. Fucking animals.
Hannah's biggest thing is she gets up out of bed and she gets on the floor. Okay, like you hear her tags jingle, like whatever. And then she starts pacing. So you hear,
oh, I can't do it.
With the jingle. And then if you don't pay attention, she'll come and pounce, get back down, and then you hear,
yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
There's a reason why my dog does not have tags on.
It's annoying.
One, because she would be dumb enough to get stuck in the air vents if she laid somewhere, which all of mine are ceiling returns, but it would happen. Like, she would get stuck somewhere.
Kona got caught on the dishwasher one time.
And pulled it out. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, no. So if I buy any kind of tag, she's going to get, like, a flexible silicone. Like, have you seen the bite tags? I want to order one of those because there's silicone and it's a QR code and it literally has all of your information on it and you can put vet information and everything. So if anything happens, somebody can take them there.
Yep.
But okay.
It's lemon.
Warhead Extreme Sour Lemon. We're almost done with this pack. Well, we've got a bunch of blue raspberry left.
Oh, it's broken. Oh, it's not. I'm broken. It's not broken.
It's full.
I thought I felt a crumble. Okay.
Cheers.
All right, lemon.
I love lemon. This does not help me.
I feel like pine sol. I think I might puke. Oh my god. Oh, Jerry, lemon. Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, it's better.
I'll make sure it's all gone. Ooh, that's my least favorite. I hate black cherry. I'll take black cherry over lemon any day.
Okay.
I did not enjoy that. Like the subtle lemon I can do. Like after all the powdery, nasty
Yeah, like
sour's
this.
gone. Like this is okay, but
Ooh.
that was
Oh, rough.
oh
I don't remember it being that bad.
man.
Okay.
I really
anyway.
did think I was gonna have to run away for a second though.
You'd be holding it for a little bit. There's no bathroom down here. Go to the sub pump.
Oh. Oh goodness.
I'm sorry in advance for anybody that watches us because I do the a lot and Ashley one day I did that one time and she goes, please don't do that again. It'll make me puke. So I did it again and she gagged and almost puked. It's part of my vocabulary at this point. Like it's just like
everything. Yeah.
I do it at Jason all the time. Like stop. So today.
So how was your week? We had a week off. We did something new.
Yeah.
How was your week?
Talk about yours first, because mine's going to transition into what we're going to talk about today.
I mean, I didn't have anything like big or new happen. I pinned a couple of sales for some clients and working on inspection responses and stuff for that. But otherwise, it thankfully pretty uneventful. I went to Indy.
Yeah.
On Monday for a legislative update on stuff that's going on and mingling with fellow Indiana realtors from literally across the state. So that was pretty cool.
Make new friends.
I met a couple new people, but I reconnected with somebody that I vaguely met last event, and we've been friends on social media. So it was nice to catch up and actually talk in person and stuff. So that was pretty cool.
It's always fun when you actually get to see social media friends in person.
Yep. That was nice to connect and say hi to a few new people, but I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm not one that typically like
put yourself out there.
Yeah. Which may surprise some people. I've had a lot of people that have been like, I'm really surprised that you're as shy as you are. And I'm like, I'm sorry, have we met? Do you know me?
Yeah.
But I do put a lot of video out there and stuff that does come off contrary.
But you're also by yourself when you take those videos.
Ding ding ding.
Not like me.
Yeah. So how was your week?
Okay, well, see, last week I was sick, and then we recorded for our short, and then went to Dahlonega, Georgia for a girls' weekend with Kayla. Yay! Highly recommend. So it is one of our, I don't know what you call, like, the people at the wine tastings that do, like, the tastings for you.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name for them? Like, they're not a bartender, but, you know, we just kept calling him our bartender.
Taste giver.
I don't know. We made friends with him, and he was telling us about how, so, like, champagne is made in Champagne. And it can only be, like, champagne can only be called champagne if it's made in Champagne. So then, like, he was telling us how different wines are named different things because of where they're made. So, like, Napa Valley is wine country. Well, Dahlonega has so many wineries and so many, like, vineyards that they are now considered wine country, like, in their area or whatever. So it was pretty cool. She found it on an Ashley McBryde song. And I don't even know the song. Like, I can't tell you the name of it, but it mentions a dive bar in Dahlonega. Well, I went to go look up the dive bar that she's talking about. It's called Crimson Moon, and it's no longer open. So I think it shut down 2020. So COVID hit them, but we were really close to it when we went downtown. But It's just really pretty. It's like up in the mountains and all of that. It was beautiful. We stayed in a little resort. But here's the fun part. So, Sunday morning, wake up, driving out of the resort. You know when your tire's flat, you hear the thud, thud. Yeah, that was my tire. That was my front driver's side tire. It was really flat. So, shout out to Toyota Care, taking care of me. But call them, get a tow truck out. So I'm on the phone with the tow truck or the Toyota Care to get my tow truck out. So they go through AAA, getting a hold of them. Kayla is on the phone with Walmart because that's the closest place to get a tire. They pretty much tell her she's dumb and that there is no tire that size. It goes 17 to 20. Well, I have a 19. They were very rude to her, and I was not very happy. And then I get off the phone with Toyota Care, and she's on the phone with Pep Boys. I call Walmart back. Had a few choice words. I was not very happy for. I'm like, you don't speak to somebody like that. Like, obviously, yeah, we're women, but we're reading what we like. It says it right here. I said I work at Toyota. I know enough about cars that I can tell you what tire size this is. Like, it's not that hard. And he was like, well, I'm sorry, ma'am, that doesn't even pull up in our system. I said, what the fuck ever, and hung up. I was pissed.
Say that in the first place.
Yeah. So then Pep Boys, he was really nice to her, and he was like, yeah, that's not even pulling up in our system. Like, we don't know. We can't even order it. Okay. Come to find out, it's a specialty tire, and it's only ordered by dealerships. Oh, and I have no spare tire.
And if you did have a spare, did you have a jack?
No. I had a fix-a-flat and an air pump. I was like, I don't even know if it's a hole, if it's like what it was. So I wasn't going to try to do that. Get 5 miles down the road, flip my car or something. So tow truck comes. We're like, let's just take it to the dealership. And the guy on the phone, the second guy I talked to from Toyota Care, was kind of rude because he was like, well, I don't know what you want me to do. He goes, we can't go drop it off at the dealership. I said, why not? I said, yeah, you can. I said, I'm not leaving it with the tow truck guy. I said, you're taking my car to the dealership and we can put it in the lot. I said, I've paid enough money for this car. I have the warranty. We are putting it in the dealership. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I was like, yep. You don't want to mess with me today, buddy. I am 7 hours away from home and I just want to go home. Drop it off at the dealership. Get to the dealership at 7 a.m. on Monday morning. They can order my tire, but it'll get there Tuesday. No, I want to go home today.
But so you were already supposed to be home.
Yeah, I had to call into work. And then there was another car dealership like 20 minutes away. And they come to find out they had 2 different tire distribution centers. So the first one, they couldn't get it in. So we went to the second one, and they're like, I said, I don't care what brand I get. Just get me a tire that size. Like, it's a Prius. Nobody's going to look at what tires I have. And so she was like, yeah, we can get this brand in. I was like, perfect. I sat there until 5 p.m. But they took care of it all. I didn't pay a single dime. Paid for the hotel, like, stuff like that. But thank God. And then I had another, by that point, I had a 6.5 hour drive home. And I left the dealership in Atlanta rush hour facing the sun.
Oof. Yep.
So I even had sunglasses on and my sun visor down, and it was rough. And then it was so busy. But I drove through Nashville at, 8 o'clock. So
kind of got you both ways.
Yeah.
I would honestly, I would have been driving and crying. This is so stupid.
I was just listening to my Call Her Daddy podcast, listening to their raunchy asses and just driving. I'm like, I'm just happy to be in my car. I'm just ready to be home. So I got home around 11 and then had to turn around and be at work the next morning at 6:30.
I'm glad you made it home safely.
And then I worked yesterday. So I still worked 5 days this last week.
Yep.
So, but I'm off this coming week, Friday. I don't have to work Saturday because little Miss Priss's birthday is Saturday. Her birthday party is Saturday. So
what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about travel experiences.
Hopefully better ones than you just had.
So we started out with a bad one.
Yeah.
It was good, and then it ended a bad, but it was still a good experience and highly, highly recommend. We have taken trips together. We've taken a few together, actually. We've been, I'm thinking like our theater trips. We've been to St. Louis and Indy. Went to LA together. And then most recently, we've been to New York City and Little Nashville twice now.
Little Nashville.
You never
I've
heard
never heard that before. That's so cute.
Little Nashville.
Yeah. Anywhere else?
No, because I was supposed to go with you guys to Florida and then I couldn't go.
That was 2015-ish?
Yeah. Because I was in England when you guys, or I was just getting home from England when you guys went.
I don't remember. Yeah. So of our trips we've taken together, which would be your favorite? And you can't say, well, I loved them all for different reasons. You gotta choose.
Probably LA.
I have to agree.
Yeah, we both really loved LA.
It was the most carefree trip, I feel like.
New York was fun, but Neva was very pregnant.
Very.
So you guys didn't get to do as much as we did. Even though Hamilton was
fangirl.
Hamilton was amazing, of course. Times Square was phenomenal. Like I don't know, it wasn't as packed as like what everybody has always made it seem.
Right.
Like it wasn't like a pack of sardines.
We could move. Like there was plenty of empty space.
People were not bumping into us. It was not like
a lot of characters to be seen. That was fun.
It wasn't as busy as like what everybody like has always said it was.
Well, and especially after piling out after the show got over.
Well, then there was a bunch of shows, and then it was a Friday night. Yeah. Or no, Thursday night.
Thursday. But even still, then,
but
it was nice to be able to like, hey, let's take pictures. Hey, we can stand here, and like it was.
We weren't bumping into people.
No.
But LA, that was probably hands down my favorite. You didn't go to? Did you go to Nebraska?
I don't know if I had graduated at that point or.
I don't know why you wouldn't have won it because Austin and Sydney and it was for Legally Blonde.
Did they go back for it or something? Because I don't.
It was my.
No. You did it for ITS. You did it the year after we did. So Legally Blonde we did as our spring musical my senior year.
Yeah.
But then for ITS it was the following year.
So then why did Sydney and Austin come?
That I don't know.
Did they just come? Go? I don't remember.
Maybe. But
did they go? Maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. I'd have to look back at pictures.
I remember hearing about it and everything. It was a big deal, but no, I was not involved in that one.
Nebraska's campus is really pretty too. I always forget about that trip.
There's a lot about high school that I typically forget about.
Okay, anyway, LA.
Who'd you room with?
Mariah and Daniel, and Trisha wasn't in my room.
Trisha was in my room.
Yeah.
And so was Jasmine.
Yeah, I think it was Mariah and Danielle. I think it was just us three. I don't remember. And Nikki.
Okay, yep. I remember. I have this perfect picture in my mind. I took a picture of Jasmine taking a nap. It was like did your room have the weird blue corner, like
Yes.
circular oval, like
Chair thing.
Yes, so that's what Jasmine slept on.
Jasmine's like a
curled up in a little
contortionist.
ball.
She's like a contortionist and like just shrivels up and sleeps in the most weird places.
Oh, I couldn't do that anymore.
But
I can't even sleep in my own damn bed with one pillow.
I need a bigger bed, but me and the dog and the cat can barely fit in my bed. I can't imagine how it is in your bed.
Queen size is not quite big enough for 2 adults and two
dogs.
big dogs. Well,
Yeah.
medium dogs, but
they act
they
like big
spread
dogs.
the fuck out.
Yeah. We got our makeup done by the Walking Dead makeup artist.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, I forgot. I still have that screw.
Do you really?
On a napkin. It's like glued down to a napkin somewhere in like a keepsake box.
Oh, mine was just mine. I didn't have anything.
Just a bruising.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a prosthetic.
Yeah, I got that screw.
Matt had road rash. It looked like he had been in like a bicycle wreck, and he continued. This is our director. He decided to wear it for the rest of the day. And that was like early afternoon that we went and got that done. And he wore it the rest of the day. And people were genuinely concerned. Like, he had a backstory and everything. Like, there was somebody getting ready to call 911. And he's like, no, it's just makeup. It's just makeup. Like, see. And we're like, bro. Yeah. That was fun. Who did you hang out with at Universal, though? Because it was me, Nikki, Bledsoe, and Trisha.
Jasmine. And that's all I remember, honestly. I remember the first thing we did was we went in and we went through Haunted Mansion. And I hate haunted houses.
I don't think we did that because Nikki didn't want to do it.
It really
The first
wasn't.
thing we did was go to Doc Brown's Chicken because Bledsoe was like, we have to go
I
here.
believe that, yeah. No, we went to Haunted Mansion. So Jasmine, Austin.
Probably Sydney.
Probably. I don't know. But we went through Haunted Mansion and I was not happy at all. Because I was like, I hate haunted houses. It wasn't that bad though. Like, it was actually fun.
Yeah.
But I was like, one and done. Like, that's it for me.
I think the first ride we actually did was Jaws. And which I had rode Jaws one in Florida multiple times because I've been to Universal Florida a lot. But that one and that ride still freaks me out.
I love it so much.
I do too.
When the fire comes out, yep.
And then the other one that I remember very vividly was The Simpsons, the simulator. So they're not like a roller coaster, but the way that they like throw you
it's
around.
On hydraulics and stuff.
Yeah.
It was the one that was a full room, wasn't it? I remember that.
And then it looks like you're going into Maggie's mouth.
Yep.
And you smell the baby's breath. Like, that ride almost made me sick because I don't do well with motion like that. I don't ride roller coasters because of that. Like, I can't do it. Can't do spinny things. I can't do. Yeah, nope. I can barely do car rides some days. So
I remember that now, yeah. Because I remember you get so engrossed in the ride with the big old screen and everything. I remember at one point looking over and realizing just how many other cars there were, and I was like, oh, we're not the only ones in here.
And then Transformers was that way too. I remember Transformers.
We had to wait a little bit for that one.
I feel like I didn't get a ride a lot.
Did it open that year or something?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I feel like I didn't get a ride a lot that day. I don't know. That was a weird day.
Yeah. I remember we all went and we got picture in front of the globe and everything and but
I think my favorite part though was probably the observatory. It was so pretty.
What is it, Griffith?
Yeah.
Yeah. Being able to see the Hollywood sign in the distance and everything. That was.
But we went at night, so we didn't really get to see.
Yeah. The sun was setting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still point out, like in movies and stuff, and Neva hates it. I'm like, hey, I've been there.
Been there.
Hey, I've seen that in person. She's like, okay, I get it. Shut up. It's like, listen, it might have been 2012, but it still counts.
And you want to know what? Our bus driver ran over every freaking caution cone on the way up there because it was such a narrow drive. Do you remember that? He took them all out.
Nicest guy, though.
Super nice. They were all really nice people. And then we drove past Kat Von D's and we were both like, we gotta go. But I wasn't 18 yet, so I turned 18 on that trip.
You did. I was 18. I think I had a couple of tattoos at that point. But yeah.
Yeah, I turned 18 on that trip.
We've sworn ever since we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back.
I think it's open.
We're gonna go back. We're gonna go. We're going to LA. This is the year we're going to LA. And then
something comes up.
The problem is though, is that we never officially plan it.
No,
I think if we actually like plan and we're like, hey, look, let's actually do something. Yeah. I think we'd get there.
Somehow. We wouldn't be able to afford anything in there, but
just get there.
Just get there and walk around.
Stay in a hotel and just go to the beach every day. We watched Rodeo Drive. That was pretty cool. Yeah. I didn't realize I realized at the time like Rodeo Drive's a big deal, whatever. But then now, like seeing how significant it is in songs and movies,
now
and
that
everything.
I know more about it, I'm like, I wish I would have seen more of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Yeah.
Do you remember the black and gold Bugatti?
Yeah.
Then that was popular.
Did you guys walk down to Nude Beach?
No.
We did. We didn't stay very long, but we did.
No, I remember thinking it was pretty sweet to see all these people handing out these marijuana cards, though. Yeah. We were like, oh, that's pretty cool. That you could do that out here with no big deal. And then now it's just kind of like, oh, well, no duh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Santa Monica Pier. Did you ride like the Ferris wheel or anything?
It stopped at the top, so I got some of my favorite pictures.
I'm not a fan of, I'm not like terrified of heights, but I'm not a fan of it. So like anytime I've ever ridden a Ferris wheel, I'm always like, don't get stopped at the top, don't get stopped at the top.
Oh no, I rode the Eye in London, and it'll hesitate at the top at every car. It takes 30 minutes to get around. That's how slow it goes. So you get the best views of London. It's so cool.
So where else have you? So you've been to London?
Yeah, I went to London for school, Ivy Tech. So Ivy Tech and UE are sister schools, and Harlexton is a branch of them. So I went over there for English literature. So we each got to pick a book, and then we had to read it, and then we had to give a book report on it. Cliff notes. My teacher did not give a shit. Justin was great. He was the most laid back, like, you think artsy fartsy, like, just laid back lit teacher, that was him. Like, he did not care. He was all about the experiences. So we went to a bunch of cathedrals, went to Cambridge, Grasmere. I've always said if I was going to live anywhere, so that's like north of London by a couple hours, and it's like all green, it's beautiful, and I've always said if I would move anywhere, it'd be there. And then we went to the Roman baths. That was cool. And then we went to Stonehenge. And then we had a couple days in London. We stayed in a hostel in London, and thankfully we had, like, there was 12 of us, so there was 4 to a room. So there was enough that we didn't have to share with random people. But hostels are freaking weird. Like, it's all a community shower, and just, yeah, like somebody goes, well, what if somebody pees in the shower? Because it all runs down to one drain. We're like, we didn't think of that, stop it. But it was a good time. It was great. And we had a bar in the basement of our school. Harlexton has a bar. So since it's not in the main school, they're allowed to do that, and it was cheap. It was like $1 beers. I mean, Haley Jones would get drunk on a school night. Yeah. Part of our assignment was write in a journal every day. And then we had to show our teacher that we wrote in it or whatever. A lot of us did that. And then we took all of our notebook pages out and made like a scrapbook from all of our pictures. That was fun. Gatlinburg, Chicago, Nebraska, Las Vegas. Vegas is fun.
I need to get out more.
New Orleans multiple times. Savannah, Georgia is one of my favorite places. Beautiful down there.
The arts district and
Yeah.
everything. I want to go, and I want to go there, and I want to go to Tybee Island.
So I don't like Tybee Island. I like Tybee Island, but I don't like the sand at Tybee because it's oceanside. So the sand is not like white fluffy sand. It's all packed and like hard, and it's not enjoyable sand.
Mm.
So that's why I like the Gulf better.
Yep.
That's why I like Gulf Shores.
Get your feet in.
Yeah, you can't do that. It's like concrete.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me. There's places like that in Hawaii when we were there. On Maui,
Yeah.
there's places where the beach was just like rock hard from the tide and everything being up.
We went to Key Largo at an all-inclusive resort. Memphis, saw Graceland. Graceland's amazing. I'm going back. I'm going back at Christmas this year. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I'm freaking going. I'll go by myself. North Carolina. I've been to the Biltmore House, the Estates. It's beautiful. I want to go back there at Christmas too. But it's like $150, $200 for a ticket to get there in there at Christmas time.
No thanks. We
Yeah.
drove through. Let's see. We stayed in South Carolina, and we went to Myrtle Beach area,
Mhm.
and then we ended up moving up to the Pawleys Island area, and we drove to North Carolina through Wilmington to look at the One Tree Hill houses and different places
I
that
would
they
do that.
filmed and took pictures. Neva hadn't watched it yet at that point, so she was just kind of like, yeah, let's do it. Like, it's fine. It's traveling. We're getting out. We're looking at stuff. That's pretty cool. Oh, that was in a TV show. And then now that she's seen it, she's like, now I get what it's about.
I've been to Myrtle Beach, but it rained. We went my brother had a football, like 7-on-7 football tournament in Knoxville. So mom made it like a week-long trip before school started. And Knoxville, it was blistering, miserable hot. Then we get to Myrtle Beach, and it's record rain for the summer. And it's like miserable rain, like flooding.
No.
So we didn't even really we got like 2 hours on the beach, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. I can attest to the blistering hot. When we went on our trip, we decided we were gonna tent camp at a KOA.
Oh god.
And we went and we had an air mat. Like, we were like a little bougie. We had an air mattress and we had some nice pillows, whatever. I didn't know that I could sweat so much in my sleep. Like, didn't have maybe a top sheet.
Yeah.
That, shorts, tank top, whatever. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, even at night, like, it didn't cool down a whole lot. Blistering hot. So the next day, we were a little miserable. We weren't sure what we were going to do. And then it started sprinkling a little bit. And I was like, oh no, our tent's going to get wet. Oh, what are we going to do? So I was like, okay, but really, like, do we want to stick it out? Because we looked at the weather, it wasn't supposed to storm or anything, but heavy rains were on the way. And so we're like, oh man, tent's wet. We got to pack it up. We found the hotel.
I've done the same. Yeah.
We cooked our hot dogs in the microwave instead of over a fire, and we enjoyed some TV in a hotel and a nice cozy bed.
Yep, I would have done the same. I went to San Antonio last year.
Mm-hmm.
Stayed on the Riverwalk. That was for work. Thank you, Toyota, for sponsoring that trip.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. That's another place I could live. Would be Texas. Really been anywhere since then.
We went to Washington to visit friends.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. We got to go to Seattle and we got to see Space Needle.
I want to see that.
And we didn't get up close or anything, but where we were, Pike Place Market.
Gray.
Yeah. So we went at Pike Place Market and like just walking around. I did not realize though, much like San Francisco, you've got some steeple hills and sidewalks and stuff, and I was like, I'm just not prepared for this. So and we had the stroller, and so Nemo like was holding on, and was like holding on for dear life, like stomping down a hill and then pushing up the hills and stuff. Like,
How
but
old
it was
was Kylo
good.
at that point?
So this would have been 2022.
So just turned.
So he
About to
wasn't
turn 2?
quite 2 yet. Yeah, just over a year and a half, or just shy of 2.
That
Yeah,
was like March,
it was
wasn't it?
March, April, and he turned 2 in June. Yeah,
He was hefty at that point, so
he had enough meat on his bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no
But-
thanks to that stroller.
No, and I think it was the Jeep stroller, so it was like an umbrella stroller,
Yeah.
and it wasn't necessarily like
Not sturdy.
good wheels on it kind of thing.
Where else have you guys been?
I'm trying to think. I mean,
Hawaii?
Hawaii. We've gone to Nashville multiple times. Big Nashville. I don't know. Is that what they call it, or is it just Nashville and
Nash
Little
Vegas?
Nashville? Nash Vegas, yeah. So we've been to Nashville quite a few times for like shows and stuff. We used to go to like Derek and Julianne Hough
Yeah.
Move tour. We did that a bunch. We've been to Louisville and toured. What was it Jack Daniels? Jim Beam. What was it?
The
Jim Beam.
distilleries?
Yeah. Obviously, we've been to Little Nashville. I can't get over it, Little Nashville. We've been there. We've gone to Florida. We've been to South Carolina, North Carolina. We've never stayed in North Carolina. Been to New York. I've been to LA. She's been basically to like every state possible because she traveled a lot and they did
Yeah.
a lot of camping when she was younger. But I haven't done much traveling except for with her.
Yeah.
Because when we grew up, we didn't really take vacations a whole lot or anything.
We did, but we did like it was when we got older. But we always went. So my grandma was a snowbird.
Mm-hmm.
So we always just went and stayed with her.
Yep.
If we went anywhere. But we didn't really go. I think my first big trip I remember going with my parents, besides Disney and Universal when I was really little, was they surprised us on spring break. No, summer break. It was like right before school was getting ready to start, and we went to Nashville, stayed in Opryland for a night, which was really cool. We had a room that wasn't a balcony, but like you walk out and it was like it was open. And then we went to Universal again that trip. That was cool.
That was
And I was like 7th grade.
Yeah, I would say I think my first like big trip that I remember, my first time flying, I was 7 or 8, give or take, and we went to Universal Studios with Mom and Mark, and it was me, Mom, Mark, and the boys. I think Angel was home with Grandma. So my first time flying, I remember having nightmares about it, like it was gonna be like the worst thing ever. And then I got on the plane, and I was terrified. And then I honestly don't even remember anything about the flight because it was no big deal.
My first time flying, you asked me if I was okay the whole time.
Was
That was
when we went to LA?
I was so sick. That's how I figured out that I had motion sickness.
Ugh.
I was so sick.
Did we sit next to each other, or were you one behind me? And I
We
was
sat next to each other.
Okay, I couldn't
think we
remember
ended
if
up
I was
switching
peeking through
somebody.
the seats.
But I was so sick.
I always get nervous during
But we
takeoff.
also had turbulence too.
A little bit. When we take off and landing, I always get a little bit nervous where I'm like, okay, I get that little feeling in my stomach. But then once we're like,
That doesn't bother me.
just being
Honestly,
up in the air.
yeah. We had really bad turbulence coming back from Vegas last year. And I'm literally sitting in my seat like this. I'm like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm like, please God, please God, please God, don't let me die. I'm like, it was so bad. Like all 3 of us were freaking out. We were just like panic mode.
Atlanta to Evansville on our way back from our honeymoon. Worst flight I've ever been on. And like we did Evansville to Atlanta, no problem.
Yeah.
And then like even when we were in Hawaii, you can fly into Honolulu, but then like you have to, like, inner island airfare,
Yeah.
you go
Like little
from
puddle
there.
jumpers.
Yeah, well, and it wasn't bad either. Like, it was Hawaiian Airlines,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. We went from Honolulu to Maui, and, like, it was no big deal. But that freaking Atlanta to Evansville, I was like, okay, if I wasn't ready to be home, now I am. Like, it was
Yeah.
the worst. I remember, like, just sitting there and, like, bouncing so much consistently that I was like, I've never felt like actually throwing up on a plane until
Yeah.
that ride. That,
And it's just, I don't know, it's just funny to me with now, like, the cost of flights. I'm like, I still would rather drive. That's so Midwestern of me to say. But I would.
Yeah.
Like, yes, flying is convenient. I would much rather fly. But, like, me and Zach, when we drove to Key Largo,
Mhm.
that was a 18-hour drive. But the first day we chopped it up. We stopped in Orlando, stayed in Orlando, went to the Skywalk. I don't remember what it's called in Universal. It's outside of it where all the shops are
Mhm.
because I wanted Voodoo Donut. So we stopped there and then we finished the rest of our drive because we couldn't check in until like 3 or 4 that afternoon anyway. And then, but on our way home, it was an 18, 19-hour drive and we drove straight through. We were both just like, we're ready to get home. But like driving, like I'll go see Kayla in June and I'm like, I'd rather just drive. Like, it's cheaper for me to drive. In my car, I can fill up for $60 a one way down there. Like,
Yep.
I'm okay with that compared to a $500 flight.
Yep.
And then being at their, the whim of them, like, oh, well, we're going to cancel your flight. Well, now I'm freaking stuck.
Yep.
At least in my car, I can leave whenever I want.
That's the one thing about traveling. I'm doing my first solo trip for work in April, and I booked flight, and my flight has already changed once. It's like 5 minute difference or like a half hour at most on certain ends of it. I'm like, okay, cool, like no big deal. But like I told Neva, I was like, what am I gonna do if I miss my flight? Because now I have Atlanta. I'd had like an hour and 20, and now I have like 45 minutes to get from one flight to the next. And I'm just like, I hate Atlanta. I don't know which concourse I'm going to be on and if I have to ride the tram to go elsewhere.
If you download, what airline are you flying
Delta.
through? So Delta Airlines, their app actually has maps on it, so you can see where, what terminal you're in and what's the quickest way to get to each terminal.
Does it really?
Yeah.
I learned something new today.
You've learned two things in the last 2 days, but
I've learned a lot this week.
But yeah, so that was my problem flying home from San Antonio last year.
Yeah.
So on the way down there, my flight got delayed 7 hours. So I was stuck in Dallas airport for 7 hours when I could have. So first time it was pushed back like 2 hours. I was like, okay, and then it got pushed back another 3 hours. Well, by that point, I was like, I could have already driven there if I would have known it was going to get pushed back because from Dallas to San Antonio is a 4 hour drive. So I was like, I could have just done that and then put it on my work card. But by that point, I didn't know, and then my baggage wouldn't have made it, and I would like all of that. I would have had to still get to the airport and get my clothes because I didn't have any work clothes with me. And then on the way home, my flight from Dallas to Evansville got moved from like an hour and a half to 15 minutes. And Dallas airport is absolutely freaking insane. So like their terminals, they have a bunch of terminals all together, but then they have different buildings that have different terminals. So I was in terminal like D, I had to get to F. I had to get on the Skyliner. I had to walk up, get on the escalator, get on the Skyliner, get to my terminal, and run to what gate I was. And I show up, I'm sweating.
I believe it.
I was sweating. And I get there, and come to find out, the flight in was delayed. So I had an extra 30 minutes, but they didn't let them know that they were going to be late. So I was
Go to the
in
bathroom.
I was in
Tell
panic
yourself
mode.
off.
I was like, I should have wore a t-shirt. Why did I wear a sweatshirt? What a dumbass. I was like, gosh dang it. But like I've had bad travel experiences,
Yeah.
but like not horrible.
I was gonna say, what's been the worst one you'd say?
Probably this last week. Just the unknown of not getting a tire or not stressed me out. Like I don't like having to use PTO days unless I absolutely have to. I like using them for fun.
Yeah.
Like that's why I won't get my wisdom teeth pulled because I don't want to use my PTO day. Like doctor's appointments, like I hate using it. I
Yeah.
hate using them. Like I'm the only reason why I'm using a PTO day this Friday is because we work on Saturday and I would miss Ida's birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of benefited me because now, so per dog insurance, Honey has to be fixed by the end of February. Well, Warwick County Vet does spay and neuters any day of the week except for Tuesday at Boonville. So I got her in on Friday.
Yep.
So it kind of worked out. So then I can take her to get that and I don't have to stress about when I'm going to do that and get it in. So it was kind of a win-win on that. But that's also why I work shutdowns so I can get more overtime or more PTO back.
What would you say would be your best, your most favorite travel experience?
Probably New York. We didn't have any issues at all. We drove up the night before. We stayed in a hotel. We got up the next morning, got breakfast. Because I think our flight was at like 6. We got to the airport at 5. Like, we had free hotel points. Like, we didn't have to pay for that hotel. We got there. We got an Uber. You know, it was very just go with the flow. It wasn't, we didn't have a whole bunch of stuff planned. Like, me and Shelby had things that we wanted to see, and then Zach had things he wanted to go see, but it wasn't like a itinerary like we have to be here, here, and here at this point. Like it was very just laid back, and we got to see so much stuff.
And you got to be on TV.
And I got to be on TV. Got to meet Al Roker. That was awesome. Nice fella, very nice fella. I definitely want to go back there, 100%.
Let's go see Wicked.
Yeah. I have been looking at shows. There's quite a few coming to Fox. I was trying to talk Neva into going to the ballet with me, but she didn't seem interested, so I stopped.
In the ballet?
Yeah, it was Swan Lake. She said, awesome. I was like, okay. ...
You may as well have just said K.
I'm like, okay, never mind. But they were going to be in Lexington. And I was like, oh, okay, like, maybe we can go. And then I found out that they're going to be in Evansville, actually. Swan Lake is in Lexington in March. Oh, nice. Killed it. Okay, never mind. I'll just drop it. But that was New Year's Eve, so that was, you guys were hosting.
Yep.
At that point. But I was like, okay. I have been looking at shows at the Fox because I want to go back to the Fox. I wanted to go, so the weekend after Valentine's Day, I was going to make a weekend of myself to go to St. Louis because the Predators are playing the Blues on Saturday night, and then there is a musical. I don't remember which musical it is, but they're going to be there Sunday, and I was going to get matinee show at 2. Well, now I have to work Saturday, so I'm not going. If I could get, if the game would have been at 7 and I got off work like I did yesterday at like 1 or 2, then I could have easily came home, changed clothes, and left and went to the hockey game. But with it being at 4, that would be cutting it way too close.
Yeah.
But damn.
Do you have any travel plans here in the near future?
Let's see. I go to Nashville in May for Morgan Wallen. Still have yet to book a hotel for that because I don't really know what I'm going to do. Then we have Neva's birthday day trip. And then Going to Florida for my birthday week in June. Spend the week with Kayla. I was going to go to Disney, but I can't afford that right now. Even for one person, it's stupid expensive. I'm just going to go plant my ass on the beach and fry.
Like you.
And then what else? Zach Bryan tickets at the end of June in Nashville. And I think that's it. I have the week of 4th of July off, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that.
So what you're saying is week of 4th of July, we need to get a hold of Kelsey.
Yeah.
And do something.
Yeah. You hear it first, Kels.
I did tell Neva that we had talked about we want to go to Nashville and do a burlesque show. And she was like, you think that you're going to go to Nashville and see a burlesque show without me? Like the whole body, like, and I was like, yeah. You better think again. And I was like, okay.
I told you she was going to say that too.
She's like, what's your favorite movie and what's my favorite movie? And I was like, we can go back. And she just kind of rolled her eyes at me.
No, I will not go to my first burlesque show without Neva.
So, but here's the trouble. It's not a girls' trip. We've talked about this.
I know.
Then it's not really a girls' trip
when you're
if Neva and I go together.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be a girls' trip then.
We'll just make it a trip.
Yeah.
Okay, so you and Kelsey can date for the weekend.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kelsey, kind of roping you into that one.
She's okay with this. We compliment each other enough.
Yeah, we've talked about living together. So.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm trying to go to Vegas in December for NFR for the rodeo, National Rodeo. Other than that, I don't really have like big plans, like a big trip.
I've got Orlando in April for work. We're going back to South Carolina in June. And that'll be our first family vacation, like as far as, first of all 4 of us. But then also we're including Mom and Mark. We're having them come with us. So we're all going to pack up the good old minivan and...
It's going to be tight.
Yeah. We're talking about getting a thing for the roof and everything.
Do you guys have a trailer hitch?
I don't know, potentially, but I know that U-Haul, like you can install on any vehicle. But
yeah.
I also know that I've heard some pretty good horror stories about that too. But I really don't know.
I think my dad took Kirk's car to U-Haul, but Kirk's got a cargo thing on the back of his car that he uses. He loves it.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds like we need to be making plans for 4th of July week.
I don't think I have any travel plans outside of that, other than potentially, a couple trips here and there to Indy for work or whatever else.
I'm trying to hit. My big life goal is to travel to all of the baseball stadiums, all the MLB stadiums. I'd like to hit a couple of those this year. I've got a friend that lives like down close to Tampa, so I might go down there. And I've got a friend that lives up near Chicago. Go to a White Sox game because I've already been to a Cubs game, and you go to a White Sox game, and then Milwaukee's like an hour and a half, 2 hours from Chicago. So if I can get them on the same weekend,
that'd be nice.
That would be perfect. Kansas City, go Chiefs.
Is that your prediction?
Yes. Yeah. Taylor Swift has to win her first Super Bowl in her rookie year. No, I don't know. I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm not a big.
I don't know. I've been in Kelsey fans for a couple years though, so I'm a big Jason. I like Jason Kelsey. Jason's freaking hilarious. I listen to their podcast a lot.
I love when they pop up on TikTok.
They're hilarious. Yeah. And then Kylie's just as funny. Like her attitudes towards Jason is phenomenal. Like they're just hilarious together. And their little girls are so cute. I'm a big Mahomes fan too.
You're a Mahomie?
I'm a Mahomie. Him and Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
Go Chiefs. I guess we'll see Sunday. What we got coming up?
Nothing.
Oh, I printed off a couple of stories. I found the Walt Disney one about this small world. Yeah. I found it. It's not as long as it like.
Is it felt with that TikTok?
Yeah, because she just reads really slow, which is good. But I did print it out, and then I printed out another one about Disney.
Okay.
So I've got 2 of those for this week.
I forgot what I got excited about.
Well, we have the Black and White Ball coming up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, it was gonna be Food Truck Fest, Evansville Food Truck Fest.
Yes.
So I think we should mic up and we should do something. I don't know how exactly we want to do it, but I think that would be.
So I'm looking at
a blast.
I'm looking at an actual like podcast camera, and I think it's a Canon. So I might invest in that. It's got one of the screens that fold up so you can see yourself. I might get one of those. So then that way at least we can have our POV so Neva doesn't have to follow us around.
I've got my stick.
I don't want to be a weirdo with our phones though.
Yeah, I've even going and doing it for work, doing house tours or anything else. Nobody's out there looking at me. The neighbors don't care.
Yeah.
Even if I'm in the house and nobody can see me and I'm walking through with it, I'm just like, I feel
I just don't like
silly.
it with a phone.
Yeah.
If it's with like an actual camera, then people are like, oh, they're serious.
Yeah.
Like they're not just fucking around.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, those dang millennials and their social media.
Yeah. But like with a phone, it's a little different. I don't know. I like my selfie stick, you know.
But first, let me take a selfie. I've okay.
Today, Junior,
given in on food trucks about being more
so
brave
proud of
about
you.
trying them. For those of you that don't know, I am super weird about food trucks.
Even though that they have even more strict codes than what actual restaurants do.
It's just a weird concept to me. I've never been cool with it. And then like going to Myriad a lot, and they have food trucks, and like hanging out with you a lot more since being home, and like going to Food Truck Fest the last couple of years and stuff.
Wife is obsessed with food trucks.
Neva will eat just about anything off of a food truck, within reason, of course, because she's picky.
Me, on the other hand, will eat anything off of a food truck.
I've given in a little bit, and I've been like, okay, I've survived so far.
Yeah.
I think I'll be okay. New restaurants coming in. I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know when Randy's opening the Wine Down back up.
Yeah.
What it's gonna be.
We plan on doing like a food vlog type thing. So you'll get to go with us to do. I think I would rather do like the pick a place for, you know, an appetizer, pick a place for our entree, pick a place for dessert.
Yep.
Which we have a place for entree and dessert. We just don't have anywhere for an appetizer yet, but I would like to try it. The 2 places that we have already are both new, so I would like to pick a place for an appetizer that's new. I know the place that's going in the landing is getting ready. It'll be open soonish. There's another place. Did the place down in Haney's Corner, it was like a food court type thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Pizza.
Is it in Haney's Corner?
I thought it was Haney's Corner or downtown.
There's one down. The food court thing is downtown with multiple vendors. It's like Main and something, I think.
Yeah.
We could go there.
Yeah.
Like to hit up different spots.
And then we want to go to
Noche.
And then Jan's place for beignets. Which we might have to do that for Mardi Gras. They posted a video of their gumbo today, and it looked fantastic. I love gumbo.
Okra in gumbo. Yes.
Absorbs all the... Yeah. That's it from us today.
Today's quote is, "You are never too old to set a new goal or dream a new dream."
Like teaching an old dog new tricks.
Not entirely impossible.
All right. That's another episode with Luc and Lys. Hope you guys have a fantastic week.
See you next time.
See you next time.